celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful deity watching this video, to divine reflection, divine messenger. And we are back with another divine observation. And this weekend I went through another awakening, shedding layers of who I used to be. And before we get into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you choose to. But if you enjoy these types of videos make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And I really appreciate you. I was asked a question, it wasn't a voice note by the way, but I was asked a question about how do I feel about the elderly? And that's a great question. Also, I'm very agitated, so excuse my passion in this video, but I'm agitated because I have a Patreon video for my Patreon Divinity. It's like 40 minutes and 20 something seconds on five enlightening key points that describe how the Pope never died, but the Pope transferred her consciousness into a different vessel that we are going to be seeing once the cardinals of the Vatican, once that committee of the cardinals, once they are elected into the forefront of who that one Pope will be for reigning more unconscious Luciferian ideologies upon the masses. So I want to talk about that, and I just went in depth with like what goes on and his stances or her stances on life. So I'm just agitated that it didn't post how I wanted to last night, but it's all good though. When it comes to the elderly, how I see the elderly, how I view them, to me, majority of them are they're the biggest disappointment I've ever seen in my life. Now, of course, the minimal percentage of adults or elderly, they're on their stuff. They're doing what they got to do, taking care of themselves. I respect those. I respect people who can get up every day, who are older than me, and still be better than their past traumatic experiences. So I ain't talking to those people who you get up every day, you don't complain, your bills are paid, your car insurance is paid, your health insurance, you got all these things taken care of for your light, water, like the basic necessities. You have food to provide for yourself. If you have a family, you're taking care of your family. And when I mean taking care of your family, when you see your children and they do things that other kids are doing, you tell your kids, no matter how they feel, why it's not okay to be fitting in with people who want to fit in, basically. Because I was told, just from my video about soft enabling and tough love, somebody resonated with this message or supporter, and this is how I know the videos I make, the experiences I go through, you all go through the same thing. So shout out to Omnis for that, but for telling me what he experienced as far as with the youth. This stuff is still going on in different states. Just in Babylon alone. I ain't talking about in other countries across the sea, no. In Babylon alone, and this circus, because America it's a hive mind, it's a circus or a corporation, it's a slave auction. Every day I understand that the elderly, majority of them are the biggest disappointments I've ever seen. Even with this soft enabling program that drives me insane. To an extent, I agree with it, but majority of the time, that's not the way this child will learn, this young mind. We got to understand, or the elderly. Actually, let me talk to the elderly, because somehow, some way, they're not open-minded into actually seeing the mirror that's revealing to them what they decided to stop looking into. Adults today, they will look into the mirror. The reflection will tell them what they are not being accountable in, and they'll tell the reflection, you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking to yourself and you're saying, you don't know what you're talking about. That's wisdom, huh? Okay. But when will you actually look into that mirror, that reflection, and you're pointing to yourself saying, you need to do better. You need to take care of yourself and your children as well. Look at you. You got a beer belly? When's the last time you went for a jog or a walk? When was the last time you walked around your neighborhood besides dropping your children off to the bus stop? When was the last time you went for a walk outside of picking up the mail? When was the last time you took yourself out on a date and you appreciated time being spent with yourself? When was the last time you did things for yourself outside somebody else? When was the last time you had a hug, not only from yourself, but people who love you? Why can't you go give them a hug? Yeah, it sucks, but you have to grow up. But you never lose sight of your inner child. There's a difference between what I just said. Because I'm basically speaking through humility as a son, a brother, a big brother, a little brother. I have respect for the elderly. But how are you going to coach me, mentor me? How are you going to mold my mind into being better when you haven't done it for yourself for 40, 50, 60, 70 years? Look at the position that you are in life. How can you tell me where to be and I see where you are right now at an age that I will reach one day? How am I going to sit there and accept that program and then be okay with that? No. And as a child, you don't see that right now. Teenagers, you don't see that right now. You think you do, but all you're doing is giving yourself an ego trip. Ego trip meaning that if you think you know, for example, somebody out there will think as if they know more than me. I would say, for one, you're not wrong. But two, if you claim that, that's how ignorant you have became. Because I don't know shit. And I tell you I don't know anything. But you want to know more than me. Imagine wanting to know more of what can't be known. Because when you know what is known already, you start realizing what I realized, what I learned, what I knew is what I always remembered about myself. If you say that about your parents, because of course when you get older, you start realizing things and then you start going against the program. You start being defiant, rebellious, all that, because you are tired of being told what to do. Have you ever considered, not only just a child or a teenager, but even as a parent, have you ever considered to ask your child why they're acting this way and how it became? How did this act become a personality trait that you despise as a parent? You despise it so much, you lost control. Why are you controlling your kids? Well, because we're making an excuse on why we had to control the mind. You sound like a handler now. And then, of course, you did handle their life through guidance, through a synthetic version of consciousness and an authentic reality. Congratulations. You have inauthentically gave your children the torch to be their own person, to the point to where now when they rebel against your program, it irritates you. Why are you being so mad at what you used to do? It runs in the family. Are you mad about that? You gave birth to it. What do you expect? What do you expect? You gave birth to this mirage of an illusion of cells, molecular cells, that were modified in the womb. You don't expect your child to be like what they were taught to see, what they were taught to live in, what they were taught to experience. Thank yourself for that. It gets so bad to the point to where if we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds questioning things that they should have been taught as far as touching other kids inappropriately, and people don't understand that kids can assault kids as well, and they won't call it that, but a lot of kids don't know their strength, and a lot of kids will take advantage of other kids if you're not being aware of that. It gets so disgusting and bad. There are some kids to this day who have been traumatized by sexual acts, by family members, by people they trusted in general, to where that haunts their mind every day, to where when they bring it up and they finally begin to start realizing what has been done to them, that's when the tears start falling again. And then somebody can ask them, by of course not being emotionally aware, They could ask them, or probably not even give a fuck. But the people who don't care, they would say, well, worse has happened to me. Why are we comparing trauma? That's what adults will do. Your trauma, you haven't seen what life has been for me. I enabled you a life to where you can be spoiled, you can be well off. So why are you questioning the authority figure? You sound like God now. And if you tell your parent that, they wouldn't even know how to respond to that. Because they're like, what do you mean? They would have to ask, what do you mean? Now you got them where you want them. Now you have their attention. Okay, now you want to communicate with me. Instead of, hey, how you doing? And just a basic conversation that most adults will have. Eventually y'all may do something, but after that though, you're just basically a roommate. Till you leave the house, and then all of a sudden, now the connection gets stronger. Oh, wait a minute, you made some money for yourself. Now conversations are different. Now topics are alchemized, and it seems as if you've been the father or the mother the whole entire time. Because now, do you put your family in a group home? Do you just pull the plug on them, or do you take care of them? We are the sacrificial lambs. Unfortunately, most people want to live their life, and that's exactly why parents, if you are not being nicer to your children, more loving, more caring, the youth will see and be able to contradict these things, because social media is a plague. It'll spread like wildfire. They'll watch contradictions and contradict it. When they get older, they'll start taking note of how you treated them. All they wanted was affection. All they wanted was your time. All they wanted was love. But when they tried to get at you, you pushed them away because you were tired, angry about work, your boyfriend, your girlfriend cheated, got a girl pregnant, took some guys, whatever, got some money, some things happen, somebody's texting your girl, your guy, whatever. You had a baby by somebody, you ain't telling nobody, affairs, scandals. You got all these different things going on in your mind, but you don't tell the child, but you take it out on your child. You don't think that this child has a mind of their own as well? Like, I hope adults know your child is not going to always be a baby. They're going to learn. And if you think that your child learning is a bad thing, you need to reevaluate who you are as the acting role of a parent. You're not actually a parent, you are a guide. Like, for example, as an adult, you have to I'm talking to both sides basically, because a lot of people don't have these conversations at home. It's too much for the adult at times, because for the child, they're just asking questions. But you can't answer your child's questions. That, to me, I would question. You can answer my questions, but when you question me, I can sometimes answer it for you. But as you get older, when I answer your questions, you start asking me questions. What happened? What happened? Oh, it's because now you can see that the mind control you placed upon the subconscious mind at a young age isn't working anymore. It's sad that I have to wake up every day, of course, because social media is what I have a career in, if you want to call it that, I guess. When I go to post a video, and of course, I do spend time like just checking. I'll like people's posts, their story and all that. But I give myself at least 5 minutes. If not, it's because I'm waiting for my video to load as far as connection and this and that. But when I get on social media, why is it that I'm seeing grown-ass women, grown-ass men, even in my DMs as well, even in real life? Why is it that I'm seeing grown-ass adults lusting after the youth for a paycheck, for comfortability, for nurturing, for more love, more consideration to be loved on, attention, time, a conversation? Why is it that I see men getting bashed, and they should? Both genders should get bashed for talking to the younger generation, as far as trying to date them and being a cougar, being a sugar daddy, all of that. That shit's weird to me. Touching on you, fucking on them today. So you wait for them to turn 18 or 19, whatever the case may be. And some people will say, that's not too bad. That's bad if you're 40, 50, 60, 70 trying to do that shit. That's disgusting. Would you do that to your daughter? And some men will say no, but there are some stories out here to where a lot of women and men have been aped and molested by their fathers. So it kind of, to me, makes sense on why a lot of women are confused about their sexuality and why they lead with their sexuality. That's what somebody she was born from did to her. How fucked up is that? And then their story isn't heard. So if, imagine a daughter or a son telling their mother that, and the mother says, your father would never do that. How the fuck you gonna tell me, bitch? How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell a 7-year-old that ain't happened? And that nigga telling you for a reason. Your son, your daughter is telling you what happened to them. And you still just say, nah, that would never happen. You weren't there. Not only that, you said go play with your toys. Go in your room. I don't want to hear anything else. What the fuck? What? And then you wonder why the child is so destructive, why they're so neglecting of your authority, disrespecting you, talking back to you, because they will never forget that day. They wanted to come to a source they were born from that they have trusted. And you sat there and basically threw their trust in the trash can and said, it means nothing to me. It happened to me too. We don't gotta talk about it to you. Why do we gotta talk about that shit when I get older? Tell me now. Tell me, yeah, it's gonna hurt. At 7, hypothetically speaking, if that was to happen to me, I know I would be crying. I know I would be looking for my mom or my dad. But if I go to this guardian and they can't tell me what I'm looking for, not only will that hurt, but it'll hurt for the better. Yes, sir! It will hurt for the better. Because now I'm going to get better. By doing what, Divine? Healing myself. I can't for this video, I want you to dig deep. I want you to dig deep today. It's Monday. But over here to us, it's Saturday. Every day is Saturday. I want you to understand, dig deep. Think about the most traumatic thing that has happened to you or somebody you know. To my fellas out there, to my men out there who get women, by the way. Like when I say get women call you daddy. And you know what I mean. You don't even have to touch them. And they thinking, I want to bring him home. I want to go on a date with him. You get women. You know what I'm talking about because you get women. Like you get women, literally. When you understand, women will express what they've been through if they trust you, by the way. They gotta trust you and feel comfortable to where you don't judge them. Think about their trauma throughout this video. Your trauma. I'm talking about the most craziest story that nobody will ever believe. Understand and remember who did that to you. Now, did you ever ask yourself, how was that done to them? You never asked that because it's been done to you. But do you know why it's been done to you and your parent? Because that literally is the acceptance your family was attracted to. I done heard a story to where I was talking to this 40-year-old woman. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I am attracted to older women. So I've had my fair share with 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50, you know. And that shit sound crazy as fuck. But I love to learn. I love to learn. So basically, she told me her nephew, and of course her family, you know, they got cousins and all that. The nephew was the one aping and molesting his cousins. And it was so bad to the point to where the kids were smaller than this other kid. The kid was older and taller and bigger, larger. When I understood that, that's when I realized, like, oh, taking advantage, putting them into submission, because that same thing was done to this child. So where now that child became bigger than what it expected to be or what he expected to be. And when I heard that story, I was just like, damn, that shit is just, for one, it's disgusting, but it's fucked up. Because imagine you beating up on your cousins, your brother, your sister, for them telling on what you're doing to them. Like, imagine your grandma, your aunt, your uncle in the crib. They hear their grandson, their nephew doing these things. You hear crying, you hear help, but you turn the TV up. Do you know, like, that shit pisses me the fuck off. Like, hearing that, I want to slap somebody, senseless. Because it's like, that's going on today. Imagine you're a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old boy. You just playing the game. Your sister, your cousin, your niece, they touch your nuts. You be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Exactly. This shit goes on, especially in our community. For some strange reason, there are some families out there who allow this shit. I done heard it all. I done heard so many stories. I'm just not surprised no more at anything at all whatsoever. I'll be surprised if something good actually happens in somebody's family. I'll be surprised if actually somebody who talks to me doesn't have any trauma. I'll be very surprised. But I wouldn't be. But hearing that story, that's when I understood, like, damn, that is disgusting. That's deceitful. And who's gonna stop it? And then when the cousins and the sons, the nieces telling their parents, people are just saying, I don't believe that. Get out my face, child. What the fuck? What? Get out your face. Got it. Okay. Now when you're 70, when you're 80 years old, and you ask your child for help, get the fuck out my face, child. You need a place to stay. But nah, when I needed you, you didn't want me. You just threw me to the side. I'm gonna put you in a retirement home. I'll see you when I see you at your funeral. That's how some kids will think. That's how they've been treated. That's all they know. Are they wrong for that? I ain't gonna lie. To me, yes and no. But overall, you are wrong for that if you do that to your parents. I don't even believe in that. I would never do that to my mom. My father, you know what I'm saying, I love him, but I don't know what this nigga doing. Shit, so hopefully he's taking care of himself. Get off my fucking car, man. It's wasps. I hate wasps. But, hold on. Let me get shut my car. Yeah, the fuck away, nigga. I despise wasps. To me, they're like Beelzebub or Satan. But, you know, overall, I don't want to make this video too long. I mean, that's just how I feel about them. I just really can't respect them, so they respect themselves. Because their mentality is so masqueraded through reality TV and escaping from accountability to where they don't even want to take accountability no more. Excuse me, by the way. I can't respect somebody who will let their child get groomed, assaulted by somebody they love and trust. Do you know how many uncles out here are considered stay away from that uncle? And then your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your brother, your sister coming up, they like, why do you say that? All these bugs in my car. You be like, why you say that? Oh, you didn't know? No, what's going on in the family? Oh, sit down, get something to drink. Let me tell you a story. Whoa. They don't make movies about this shit for no reason, bro. These directors, these people who get jobs to produce these movies, they do that for a reason. They're letting us know what the fuck our family is doing to themselves every day. To where now, the people who have the worst story become the most famous. That's literally all life is now to me. The people who get done the worst things have happened to them, they become famous for it because everybody has a story to tell. Everybody wants somebody to feel bad for them. When you feel bad for somebody, what do? You give them something. You give them something. People are looking for a present that's presently not being itself. People want better energy, positive energy. People have some fucked up realities, lives. People's lives are at stake right now with their mind every single day, and they can't even see that, because that thought from the past, or that scenario from the past, literally is their worst nightmare that they are still dreaming in for today. The only difference is they hide it through faking a smile, by faking a laugh, by trying to be your friend, money, selling their morals, trying to be famous, chasing clout, looking for attention, exposing just their whole entire life. They're looking for somebody to hug them. They're basically crying out for help. But by doing that, they are exposing themselves to the world, to where they get paid for it, they're famous for it. But they're doing it at what cost now? You're basically doing it for the approval of other people who really don't actually give a fuck about you. This fucking Wallsburg, get the fuck off my car, nigga. But what time is it right now? So I need to go make some videos for Instagram and TikTok as well. But it's 1:52. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. I love them so. I love the elderly, but don't mentor me, don't coach me, don't parent me if you can't even do it for yourself. I'd rather be the parent you never had. That's the role that I had to accept in life. It is what it is. I mean, nothing to complain for when it's just your duty. It's your due diligence to life, your family. But what is family if they are not resonating at your vibration? At this point, you are the father figure. You are the gold mine. You are the abundance mind that people are gravitating towards when money starts coming in. When money starts coming in, that's when the trauma starts expressing itself. Be careful who you hang around. Be careful who you call family. Be careful who you trust in this world. Because when they transfer that trauma onto you, not only do you have some, but they'll mix and master their trauma into yours to where they'll destiny swap with you, change your astrological script, and they'll place you under hypnosis to where you're stuck in their trance of a victim persona that they are wanting to follow every single day. Love yourself, love your parents, forgive them. They have no idea what they're doing, and neither do you. Have a great and divine day, Divine Reflection.